I'm Yogi Roth, and I'd like to share a story with you.
30 seconds or less, I need everybody in the room, including the coaches, to change your seat and sit next to somebody different.
Because this is a graduation, it's a celebration. I want to hear everybody cheer as loud as you possibly can. 1, 2, 3. Come on! Woo! I like it. Okay, cool, we got a little juice in here. If you're a graduate, you probably feel as though you can do anything right now. Imagine that sound constantly going through your ears. It stokes your fires, it gets you to roll, it gets you to leap.
I love telling stories for a living because I think that we live stories for a living. So today, what I hope we do is dive into a bunch of reasons of who we are, what we're about. You guys down with getting a little weird today? Yes? Okay, cool. Cool, all right, good. I walked to the lobby last night, so I know it's possible with this group.
I talk about football all the time for the Pac-12 Networks and ESPN. That's my job. This is what I do, what I've dedicated my life to do.
How many of you have ever heard of the phrase, the it factor? It's like the most undefinable phrase in the history of sports and performance. Sometimes you can see it, but you can't describe it. Our staff, we're looking for those undefinable traits.
When I was in college as a junior, I'd earned my full athletic scholarship, and I was set to start. And all of a sudden, this tall, skinny freshman rolls in. You might know his name. His name was Larry Fitzgerald. First ballot Hall of Famer. And literally within a week, he beats me out. And I was deflated, because to me, competing was striving against him, trying to beat him out for the job. And I sat back and realized that we're both going to be better, our team is going to be better if we strove together.
I can remember like it'd be games and he'd catch a 60-yard pass and I'd just run in. I'm like, you're coming out. And he would like, no, I'm good, I'm staying in. He'd be exhausted and I'm like, come on, we're running the ball, give me one snap. But his mentality was he wasn't gonna give it up for anybody, let alone a guy that would never take his job. If you pulled out your phone right now, literally, and looked up the word compete, it would say the following: to strive against. Me against you, you against me, I win, you lose.
If you asked me who my biggest mentor was, or is, I'd say Pete Carroll, playing for the chance to go to the Super Bowl tomorrow. Can't wait, it's gonna be awesome. I've been around him since I was 19 years old. Football teams, championship teams, in college, in the league.
And one of our coaches said, how do we want our players to leave the program? And Coach Carroll at the time says, well, how do you want them to leave? And he said, I don't really know. He goes, all right, everybody write down how you want your players that you're coaching to leave the program. And I write down my answer, and I scribble it out, and I write down my next answer. And of course, he's watching the whole thing, and he looks at me and he goes, yo, what'd you write? And I said, well, I was coaching quarterbacks at the time. I said, I want him to leave a 65% completion percentage. I want him to leave throwing for over 2,300 yards. I want a 4-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. I'd love him to win the Heisman, be a top 5 draft pick, and if they graduate, they graduate. It's pretty basic, right? And he goes, well, what was the thing that you crossed down? And I said, well, I wrote down dreamers. And he goes, yeah, because that's the thing closest to you.
And we talked to a lot of the players, we use this phrase called the lonely work. Doing things when nobody else is watching, the boring work.
I truly believe that every one of us has an inner flame. I think the beautiful thing as an athlete, if I would describe it very poignantly, I would want my flame to be so bright, to be so light that you're attracted to it. I believe this fundamentally, fellas. You talk like you write like you read. You talk like you write like you read. Talk like you write like you read. So if you're not reading, you're not writing, you don't know how to talk. And if you don't know how to talk, you don't know how to share your story. If you don't know how to share your story, then all you are is probably defined by everybody else as just a football player.
In all of our time being around coaches in the NFL, our experiences in college, around this game, around high performers, we've found ways where we can define the type of competitor that you are. So at the very bottom, if we looked at this pyramid, at the very bottom, if you define yourself a competitor, you could be defined as a survivor. That's the lowest level of a competitor. So if you think about it, that's when things are really hard, and if you were underwater, you should be grasping for a breath of air.
Everybody, including Mike, we're going to teach you how to breathe. You didn't think you'd get that today. So sit up, please, in your seats. Let it out. When I first went to college, I'll never forget it. I walked in and I was like, okay, where's my locker? I was so pumped. And I go to the 80s because I was a wide receiver, and I roll over. Whew. My last name's Roth. Nowhere. Go to the 3s, nothing. He scrolls and scrolls, and he goes to the very back page, and he goes, Roth, yeah, you're in locker 106. And I roll back to locker 106, and my pads are D lineman pads. My shoes are twice the size, and I got a D lineman face mask. I'm 190 pounds. Come on, man, at least give me a little love. And that was the day that I made the decision that I would be in a relentless pursuit of a competitive edge.
You get to define yourself through your actions, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you operate with your teammates. through good times, through bad times, through miserable times, through fun times, the type of competitor you will be.